Hello and welcome to the first video courtesy of Advective Weather, this one being for a severe weather episode that's expected tomorrow and Tuesday. I know we've just gotten into the new year, it's January, it's winter, but severe weather has already arrived. We have an enhanced risk in place for tomorrow, a level 3 of 5 risk for severe storms, and we have a level 2 of 5 risk or a slight risk in place for Tuesday. Both of these events are expected to be in the afternoon and evening, and they're going to be associated with the same general storm system. Winds, strong winds, and tornadoes are the primary threats with this, and we will be live tomorrow for this, and possibly Tuesday as well. More information on how exactly that's going to end up working out will be available on our Discord server as we get more information about what the event looks like throughout the day today and tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at what's currently going on across the nation. Our system of concern is in Utah, that cold front extending all the way into the Pacific Ocean. This is going to be the system that moves on over through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, places like that. It's going to blast northward, and we're going to get from there our severe weather possibilities. So this is the system that's going to produce that severe weather, and on the northern side of this system, there's going to be snow, winter weather. You can see that on the map here, but there are lots of winter weather alerts in place across the United States. Make sure that you're keeping track of that if you're on the northern side of the country, so that way you're informed about how travel conditions could be impacted and things of that nature. Well, before we get into the official forecast for severe weather and what exactly it looks like, I want to go over the risk categories. So we have a level 0, that's general thunderstorms. This is when no severe storms are expected, but still you could have your normal hazards from thunderstorms. That's lightning, maybe some flooding threats, heavy rain, things like that. That always exists. Maybe even some small hail or some gale force winds. That's 40 miles an hour or above in terms of gusts. Marginal risks are when you have a level 1 out of 5 or isolated severe storms being possible. These are pretty limited in duration and intensity. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, 1 inch hail. Those are the criteria for severe thunderstorms. You could also see an isolated tornado or two in that marginal risk. Slight risk, that's a level 2 out of 5. That's basically similar to a marginal risk, except for that the coverage is a bit more widespread. So we have a few more severe thunderstorms in that area, generally tend to be scattered, and you could have a couple intense thunderstorms as well. Enhanced risks, that's when we start to get into more serious territory. These are more persistent, long-lived, widespread storms, and we get a few of them that end up being intense a lot of the time. Moderate risks are when you have widespread severe storms likely to occur. These are long-lived, particularly intense, tend to get particularly nasty. That's a level 4 out of 5. And then we have a very rare level 5 out of 5. This is when you have widespread severe storms expected. These are very long-lived, quite widespread, and tend to be particularly intense a lot of the time. So this is one of those situations where you might have more intense storms than not. So pretty bad situation if you get to the level 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. Let's get into the official forecast for tomorrow. Currently a level 3 out of 5. Wouldn't be shocked to see that upgraded to a level 4 in a small area. Not expected to be any sort of super historic, super nasty thing that we've never seen before down here. Just a bit unprecedented for the month of January. So, if you're used to your springtime severe events, this is going to look a lot like a more upper end severe event in the springtime. So what are we looking at here? Well, in the upper left corner, you can see there that orange area, that's your enhanced risk. Your slight risk is in the yellow, and in the dark green, that's your marginal risk, your level 3, 2, and 1, respectively. For tornadoes specifically, upper right corner, you can see there that yellow region, that is the enhanced risk. This is a hatched region as well, meaning that the Storm Prediction Center has denoted the possibility of strong tornadoes within that region. The brown area is equivalent to a slight risk, and the green area is your marginal risk for tornadoes. All right, when it comes to large hail, lower left corner, you can see there that yellow area, that's the slight risk equivalent, and then your marginal risk of hail is in the green. And then finally, you can see there the wind threat, and that is in red. So it's lower right corner, red is your enhanced risk, yellow is your slight risk, and green is your marginal risk. So that's what we're looking at in terms of threats. Again, enhanced risks, both driven by tornadoes and strong winds. Slight risk driven by large hail. All hazards possible, again though, tornadoes and strong winds being the primary threats. We don't have hazard-specific forecasts 3 days out, but we do have the general forecast, a level 2 out of 5, slight risk there in place for parts of Mississippi and Alabama. You'll notice places like Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, Tupelo. Those areas are within that slight risk. Then you can see there places like New Orleans in Louisiana in that marginal risk for severe weather. Atlanta, Georgia also making it into the marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. So that's what we're looking at there. Strong winds and tornadoes, again, the primary threat in the afternoon and evening 3 days out. Let's take a look at weather model data here real quick, and you'll notice here that there are two waves of storms. This is the first wave that moves through. That's going to move through in the morning, early afternoon, and then the second wave, that line of storms, moves through in the evening, heading into the overnight hours. The first wave could be strong to severe, although it's not expected to be overly strong, not particularly intense. It's the second wave that is of the most concern to us. Make sure you have your guard up for both waves. But again, for tomorrow, it's that second wave that moves through Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, heading into Tennessee, Mississippi. That's going to be the wave of most concern. Heading into Tuesday, you'll notice here this line of storms that moves on through could be more broken. We're not 100% sure what happens with this just yet. But again, hazardous weather is possible as this line moves through, especially the leading line there. The secondary one on the back isn't looking like it's going to be quite as potent. Well, before we get into things you can do, I want to go over the difference between a watch and a warning. If you're in a thunderstorm or tornado watch, that means the conditions in the environment are favorable for a severe thunderstorm or tornado. If you're in a warning, that means that a severe thunderstorm or tornado is imminent. So you want to be prepared if you're in a watch, and you want to take action if you're in a warning. Let's go over some other things you can do. Make sure you know what to do before and during and after severe weather. Ensure you have a way to communicate weather information to your family, friends, people like that. If you know anyone in this severe risk tomorrow or Tuesday, please reach out to them. You can either share them this video or reach out to them and just let them know, hey, have your guard up tomorrow. Be weather aware. There's some severe weather on the way. Make sure you have emergency supply. That's going to be things like batteries, flashlights, pillows and blankets to protect yourself from flying debris, extra pairs of shoes, canned food, water, things of that nature. And you want to make sure, especially if you do get hit by a hazardous weather phenomena, that you listen to local officials in regards to what to do afterwards. When it comes to lightning, when thunder roars, get indoors. That's a general rule. You're safest if you're indoors in a hard-topped vehicle, something like that, and you want to make sure you're away from appliances, metal things. You don't want to be using anything with electricity if you don't have to be while you're indoors during a thunderstorm. All right, here's what you can do when it comes to helping others. In a thunderstorm specifically, before storms, make sure that you minimize damage so you can help others trim trees, pick up loose items, things like that. You want to do that for yourself as well. Make sure that that lawn chair is tied down, things like that. You don't want to have more damage than necessary during a thunderstorm, especially because it doesn't take much to lift those lawn chairs, things like that. So just make sure that those are tied down. Just make sure that you're well prepared so that way you don't have to deal with any headaches after the storms. You want to get others inside at the first sign of thunder or lightning, and you want to keep them in there for the first 30 minutes after the last sign. This is because, on occasion, thunderstorms can have lightning strike a few miles away from the storm. It doesn't happen overly often, but occasionally it does, and that's why we want to be safe and make sure everyone's inside well after the storm passes. The other thing that you can help people with is tornado events. So you want to help others identify a safe place, not during the storm, well before the storm. That's very important. Often a basement, interior room, bathroom closet, something like that, that tends to work. You want to be at the lowest level of a sturdy building in an interior room. That's the big thing. Bringing pillows, blankets, things like that to protect yourself from flying debris. A bicycle helmet isn't a bad idea. A pair of shoes in case you have to walk through debris. Those are all good things to have. You want to make sure that you practice at least once getting to that safe place. Make sure it doesn't take more than a minute or two, because you want to make sure that you're able to get to that safe place quickly. Tornadoes are difficult to predict and track, so the warning time, most of the time you get 15 minutes or more. However, sometimes you get less than that. So make sure that if you're in a tornado warning, you take action as quickly as you can. And finally, make sure that the people around you and you have multiple ways to get weather alerts. That can be through your computer, your phone, broadcast media. We'll be live tomorrow. NOAA weather radios, things like that. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can join our Discord server at the link below. You can also like this video, subscribe to this channel if you liked it, and be sure to share this video with a friend you think could find it useful. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with live coverage on this severe weather event.